Alrighty, so today we are going to be talking about a different topic than I usually talk about, and I want to give you guys an opinion on something that people have been asking for a little bit now, right? And that is the concept of characters that are deemed must-have units, right? Now, first and foremost, right, I think that it's important to note that when it comes to the term in this game, especially of their being a must-have unit, I don't know if that really exists, right? Especially in the modern day of content where characters are coming out constantly, there's new releases all the time, right? We're getting easy A's all the time, we're getting super easy A's, we're getting free-to-play characters, we're getting LRs with banner units and Part 2 LRs and dual Dokkan fests and stuff like that. It is an ever growing cycle of characters that find themselves being introduced into the game, on a monthly basis, right? Like we're seeing, how many characters do we see? Like new characters, including Easy A's, do we see a month? Like 10, something like that. I could be way off on that number, but I'm guessing here. I'm locking in and trying to guess. But either way, right? We see a lot of characters per month. So, is there such thing as a must-have character in the game, in Dokkan right now? To me, the answer is no. There are characters that can certainly aid you in terms of the way that you want to do things, in terms of the way, how easy the game is going to be for you. But this is a game, especially, Dokkan especially, is a game that really does promote, not needing the best of the best at all times, right? Is having the best character and the new characters in the game going to give you an easier experience with the content related around that time period? Absolutely. But is it going to absolutely tank the rest of your time playing the game if you miss out on a character one time, right? So I think what I can do is give you a really good example of a time where I missed out on a character I really wanted. But despite this character almost being the best in the game, it still was not a must-have character. Now, in terms of my desire for the character, me wanting to have the unit in my box and stuff like that, obviously I wanted them. But again, the cope that I was able to kind of leave with after the fact that I didn't pull them was, this character isn't what they deem to be a must-have. So with that, I'm going to go down to the bottom here. You guys can see we're starting to get there with all the LRs, right? We're still missing a decent bit, but I have plans for these two in specific. So, Tech UI Goku, right? You guys know I love UI Goku. He is the sidebar on all of my gameplay videos, right? This is a character who I missed out on his initial banner, right? I tried, I summoned, I even bought Dragon Stones, and hell, I even summoned on the 30 unit featured Tanabata banner, right? A terrible banner, never summoned on those. But I was desperate, right? That was the only choice I had. And I didn't end up getting them, right? But the thing was, I may not have had this character, right? But you know who I did have? If we go up here to the top, I had this guy. So, at the end of the day, Tech UI Goku might have been newer, but Beast was better. So, in that case, you might not have Beast Gohan, or in Tech UI Goku, but if you still have Beast Gohan, guess what? You're good, right? You just find other ways to use the character. You run a different team. You use them as a friend support. And I think that is really important to note. And let's just say, for another example, you don't have Beast Gohan, right? Well, how can we build a team that can take advantage of Beast Gohan's leader skill, right? We run a superheroes team. Now, again, is it going to be difficult to do at times? Absolutely. But what we potentially could do is just run Orange Piccolo as a leader, right? Run a pure superheroes team. You're not going to have access to the Bond of Master Disciple or and what's the other one? Miraculous Awakening, right? You're not going to have access to that, but you're still going to be able to run a superheroes team that takes advantage of Beast Gohan, right? So that's why it's tough to say that characters are must-have, right? So I guess one thing that we could say is I think if you want to talk about the period of this game and how it's kind of worked, in my opinion, there's only really ever been one must-have character, and that is going to be this guy right here. I don't even think I have him progressed because he sucks now, but STR Super Gogeta, right? This character right here is an example of a character at the time during the first year anniversary. This was a must-have unit. Now, with that being said, the game was entirely different, right? We didn't have nearly a decade worth of content, a decade worth of units to sort of analyze as a sample size, right? This was a one-time thing that happened, and despite this guy being as good as he was on release, if you had just kind of waited it out a little bit, guess what? He was replaced, right? we go right here. a new best unit in the game came out very shortly afterwards, and that was AGL Super Vegito, right? So, you know, moral of the story with this game, right? Like I said, I get comments all the time about this stuff where it's like, you know, is this character a must-have? Should I re-roll for this character? I don't think that's ever going to be the case these days. But what also I want to talk about, you know, before we get out of here is what makes a character have that like appeal of it being a must-have character, or what are the characters that you should be chasing the most, right? What are characters that are going to be the most beneficial for your account? What characters are you going to want to use to, you know, get through content the easiest, right? Now, if you want me to go, you know, on a list basis rather than giving you a blueprint, right now, I think one of the most valuable units in the game is going to be obviously Beast Gohan, but I think this Super Saiyan trio, if you pulled them, this is going to be a very valuable character. The Super Saiyan, their leader skill is very good. The support they are providing is very good. This character just works very well across the board, right? This is just a plug and play unit. If they're on a team, you use them and they are going to work out just fine. I think that this character is one of the top must-have units in the game, quote unquote, in terms of you know, who is just going to overall be a character that helps you out a ton, right? A very versatile character, someone that you can put wherever you need to put them, and they are going to work out just fine. The same could be said for, like I said, Beast Gohan. I want to bring him up because you guys know how good he is at this point. I'm sure I don't need to elaborate on that very much further, but you guys know how that goes. I think that this AGL Broly has a lot of versatility because he works well on the Beast Gohan team. He can work well on a movie bosses team. We're talking about uncontrollable power. We're talking about super bosses. We're talking about movie bosses, right? Transformation boost, exploding rage. A lot of teams that you can run and make work, this Broly is going to be a staple in, and he also has a very valuable leader skill. I think that this character works out very nicely across a lot of teams and in various forms of difficult content. You could basically use them wherever, and you're going to be able to find usage out of them, right? Now, another good example of a character I think that you can use in a lot of different ways, I think is going to be the same for this Tech Broly for that Worldwide Download Celebration LR, movie bosses, uncontrollable power, you know, stuff like that, transformation boost again, extreme class. I think these are characters that are going to be very helpful. Now, if you are a newer player and you have this LR Merge Zamasu, I think this is a very valuable character as well. Due to their leader skill, this is an extreme class 150, and the same thing could be said about We Saiyans Have No Limits, wherever he may be. You know, this character right here, not the best performance-wise, but again, if you are a newer player, for leader skill, this is very valuable because they are a super class 150%. So if you don't have a full category team yet, you can kind of jam in as many good super class units as you can on that leader skill. So I think that that works out very well. Now, in going into the theme of TU Wars, I think another character that works out very well is going to be Physical God Goku. I think Physical God Goku is going to be really good because of his leader skill. You know, Pure Saiyans, Hybrid Saiyans, you know, if there's one thing, I say you know a lot, but I'm sorry, it's like a tick or something. Newer players, right? This is going to be a very good leader skill, right? Pure Saiyans, Hybrid Saiyans. Most of you guys are going to have a jumbled mess of Pure and Hybrid Saiyans at the beginning of the game that don't really condense down into their own team yet, but when they do, it's going to work out very nicely for you, right? We have so many Pure Saiyans in this game, so many Hybrid Saiyans in this game. It is definitely like the widest array of characters in the game, right? Pure Saiyans is one of the largest categories in the game, so I don't think that Goku, God Goku himself would deem a must-have character, but it's going to be an extremely valuable character for your box just because of the way that things work, right? I think that the 6-year EZAs are characters that you could really get some mileage out of, right? Any teams that these guys are on, their main ones being Universal Survival Saga, Reps of Universe 7, Superheroes. What else do we have? Like Powerful Comeback, right? Those teams are going to work out very well for these two. And they can really just plug and play wherever you need them, and they are going to, you know, go, they're going to perform very well, right? AGL Ultra Instinct Goku, I think, is a character that is just going to age like the finest of wines, right? This is a character who is going to have that guaranteed dodge in slot 1, or in turn 1, for the rest of time, right? For as long as this game exists, this character is going to have that mechanic. The only thing that they can take away from this character is the fact that there could be stages that disable dodging, but guess what? Tech UI Goku has a domain that gets rid of that. So, you know, like we already have like a foolproof kind of idea for it, right? Now, obviously, power creep catches up to everybody, right? I think that's important to note that when you watch this video, if you're watching this in November of 2024, keep in mind that the game just evolves, right? You could be watching this and we are 4 years into the future now. We're entering the 14-year anniversary, right? We're getting LR UI Goku and Ultra Ego Vegeta and stuff like that. Lord knows where we'll be at that time. But right now, I think the basis for what makes a must-have character, quote unquote, is a decent leader skill, a wide range of categories, things that aren't going to age out super quickly, you know, dodge, damage reduction, guard, stacking, easy active skill conditions, good links, stuff like that. These are key elements that are going to make characters age well, and we have to look at those things moving forward, right? Sometimes the writing is on the wall with a character, right? Like, let me give you a really good example of a character that felt like it was a must-have, but really aged out quickly. And this is so unfortunate because this is one of the coolest units in the game, right? Eye test, this unit absolutely passes. The aura test, we'll use that word, this unit passes on every level. He is such a dope character. But the problem is that first hit, if it's a super, you lose, right? He doesn't have high enough defense. He does not have enough gimmicks in his kit defensively in order to hang on with the big boys anymore. And this was a character that aged out very quickly. So if you were a global player, you already knew that you did not have to have this character because he just didn't have things that aged very well, right? This is an example of a character that passes a lot of the tests, but did not have things in his kit that made him kind of age-proof, right? His base form was not strong enough, and you needed to go through a hell of a lot, a whole quest, right, to get to this version of full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So don't take this as slander towards this unit. I really like this character, but unfortunately, he just got the short end of the stick in terms of aging. So there you guys go. Just wanted to talk about this a little bit. What makes a must-have character in this game? Do they even really exist? And what makes for a really good, like, overall release? What makes, like, a character, like, worthy of really getting your stones out of it, right? So let me know down below what you guys think. Don't forget to leave a like before you go. Subscribe if you are new, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of the Dokkan content. If you want to become a channel member, click the link in the description. And if you want to join the Discord as well, the community Discord where we can help you guys out, don't forget to check the link in the description as well. So that's all I got for you in this one. Don't forget to do all those things down below, and I'll see you all in the next one.